Today I'm going to be reviewing this watch winder that I've been using for the last couple months, and I really like it. But do you even need a watch winder, or do you need this watch winder? Let's take a look and figure it out. Now this particular watch winder was sent in to me for free by watchwindermall.com. So it's a store that specializes in watch winders. They sell a whole ton of different models. However, other than providing the watch winder itself, I didn't receive any compensation at all from them, and they didn't have any input into the content of this review. Hey guys, this is Dave. Welcome back to Just the Watch, and today I'm going to be reviewing not a watch, but a watch winder. Now this is a channel about budget watch collecting, and I like to talk about accessories from time to time. I've done a lot of strap reviews, reviewed some other accessories, but this is my first time reviewing a watch winder, and this is actually a watch winder / watch case, so it does both. I think when I first started collecting, this is the kind of thing I never would have imagined picking up, but now that I have actually had one and used it for a while, I really enjoy it, and I think there's definitely something to be said for getting one. Now this particular watch winder was sent in to me for free by watchwindermall.com. If you are interested in picking up this watch winder or checking out some other ones they offer, I'll put a link down below in the description. This one they have listed for $150, which I think is a really great price for what they're giving you here. So what are they giving you here? What is this thing? So this is kind of a combination watch winder and watch storage case. It's made out of a kind of finished lacquered bamboo wood on the sides, has sort of a plexiglass front that lifts up like this. And then inside you're able to hold 6 watches. So you can hold 4 watches across the top and just have them kind of ready to go. And then down below in these compartments you have 2 watches that can be on a winding system. The winding system is controlled down here with this switch. There's 4 different modes that you can go through. You can have it go clockwise for alternating a few minutes on, a few minutes off, counterclockwise, on and off. And then you can have it go clockwise, take a break, then counterclockwise, take a break, and then finally you can have it go for like 8 or 9 minutes on, and then take like a 20-30 minute break. I know the timings in here are all kind of calibrated to give your watches some rest in there, which is kind of necessary for watches. And that kind of brings us into maybe one of the other things that a lot of people wonder is is having a watch winder actually good for your watches? Is it going to damage them? And there's a lot of controversy on that, so I definitely recommend that you research it yourself and come to your own conclusion. I mean, my personal opinion is that as long as you're not leaving the watch in here, basically for months on end without taking it out and wearing it or without giving it a break, you should be fine. For me, I like to be able to kind of rotate through. So I want to have these watches that I have on the winder ready to go so that I can take them out and use them. But if I'm not actually doing that, if it's just kind of for display purposes, I'll just hit the switch and turn it off, give the watches a rest and not worry about it. And I think if you do it that way, you're probably going to be okay. Okay. Now this Jins Vico Watch Winder is, I believe it's manufactured in China. And yet it feels very high quality, and again, for the $150 price point, they're really offering you a lot. I think this is just a really great kind of piece of kit if you have a 6-watch collection of 6 watches that you really like. And I would definitely recommend picking this up after you have kind of your collection established and getting in a pretty good spot. I wouldn't get this before I get the actual watches. For me, this is the kind of thing that's like, once you've gotten to a point in your collection where you've got the watches that you really like, you've sort of gone through the trouble of building that collection, and you now have that part done, and maybe you're always going to be changing stuff out, but you want a place to kind of both store your watches, to also display your watches, and then also to kind of keep them wound. This really functions well for that. I feel like this is a really great looking case for the watches. So, if you have 6 watches, you've gone through a lot of trouble kind of building this little collection. This is a great way to display it, whether it's just for yourself to have it sitting on your desk so that you can see the watches that you've got, or to put it somewhere where you want to display it for friends or other people to be able to look at and see. Having the winder section down here is very interesting. Seeing those watches spinning around is definitely something that is cool to look at, and probably will start some conversations if you have some friends come over to your house. And it's very functional. It allows you to have 2 watches kind of ready to go. One of the biggest challenges with automatic watches is that they tend to run down. So when you're not wearing your watch, you have 1 watch on your wrist, but if you have 5 other ones that you're not wearing, they're slowly, wearing down, so that if you want to change and switch watches out, You usually have to wind it, set the time. If you have them in a watch winder, it's going to negate that part of it, where these two that are in the winder will always be ready to go, and it'll be easy to rotate them out. Now, additionally, this watch winder has one really cool feature that I didn't expect that I really like, and that's that it can be powered by USB. So I actually have this one powered right now on a little USB power bank. You can also plug this into, if you have like a multi-port USB charger, you can plug it right into there, which I have sitting on my desk, so I don't have to take up another wall outlet, which I'm don't have that many of those, so that makes it a lot easier too. But being able to run this on USB is really cool, because that allows you to place it in a location where you don't normally have access to a power outlet. You can put it on a bookshelf or on a shelf on your wall without having to run a power cable up to it. And it actually works pretty well on the USB thing. I think they say that on a fully charged power bank, if it's one of the little beefier ones, it should last for about a week. So you can definitely run this for, run it for a week on the battery, and then when the battery dies, just take the battery out, charge it. It usually takes a couple hours to charge it, and then put it back in, and you're going to be good to go. The watches will, they're not going to run out of time in the time that it takes to charge the battery. If you really want to keep things going, you can always just have two power banks, so you can just swap out and charge one. And then, and then you can have this thing sitting someplace in your house where you don't have access to a power cord, which I think is a really cool feature. This does also have a lock on it. The key, it's not like super secure, or it's not going to really keep anyone from stealing your watches, but it would definitely keep kids from getting in there and playing around with things. The way that this one functions, so you've got 4 of these kind of pillows across the top, and these are just kind of little memory foam pillows, and the watches just sit here in the top, so they're not secured in the top area in any way. And that's one of the minor downsides, is sometimes things can get a little bit sort of untidy if you're not careful in how you set them in. Especially with bigger watches, they might sometimes sort of roll around a little bit. For the winder pillows down here, these are much more engineered. They're kind of spring-loaded to allow you to get the watches on and off, and they have a special mount in order to fit into here. But they come in and out pretty easily, and because they are spring-loaded, it's fairly easy to get the watch off. You don't even have to always unbuckle it. You can kind of just press the spring down and then pull it off, or slide it back on. So that is pretty nice. Another thing that I often use this for is doing accuracy testing on watches. So like right now I've got this Seiko 5 in here, which does not have hand winding, for instance. So if I want to test the accuracy, but I'm not actually going to be wearing it all the time, I can leave it in the watch winder so it'll stay running, so that I can check the accuracy. So that's another handy feature for this one. As I was looking through the watch winders that they had on the site, this is one that I really like the design of. I like this kind of upright style. Kind of reminds me of like an old-fashioned appliance, like a toaster or something, but I think that's really cool, and I think it just kind of really fits into normal home decor. It doesn't take up a lot of space on the desk either, because it's vertical. So you've got kind of a smaller footprint. It's not something that's really huge. And living here in Japan, things are often kind of cramped, so that's also another nice plus. Anyways, this is the Jins Vico 6-watch winder. If you're interested in purchasing this, I'll leave a link to it down below. Yeah, I really like this. It's been a great little fun thing to have. I've been using it a lot. So if you are in the market for a watch winder like this, definitely recommend it. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.